Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I have a smoky eye using the Wet n Wild Wild Heart eyeshadow palette. I actually wanted something once again to match the dress that I'm wearing, and I think that this palette helped me achieve that just fine. I really like this look. It's nice and pretty and smoky, and this is look number 9 using the Wet n Wild Wild Heart eyeshadow palette. Once again, you can find this palette at Walmart for $15, and I'm going to use the Wet n Wild eyeshadow primer as well as a shadow shield today because we're using black eyeshadow today, so there's going to be quite a bit of fallout and I don't want to mess up my face makeup. So once that's applied, I'm using the Wet n Wild Wild Heart eyeshadow palette, and I'm going to be picking up the last row. There is a gray matte shade there, and I'm going to be picking that up on a fluffy crease brush. I'm going to windshield wiper that in my crease, just back and forth. I'm going to build this up, and I love how this eyeshadow applies versus how it looks in the pan. In the pan, it looks like a cool tone gray, and it is still cool toned, but when you apply it on your eye, it takes on this like really beautiful lavendery purple undertone, and I am loving it. Now, of course, in the last row, like I said, we're going to be using black, so the black matte shade in the last row, and I'm going to take this on a pencil brush, and I'm going to be patting this in my outer corner. Patting this and pressing it is going to avoid some fallout, and also we'll be able to build this shade up very, very nicely and just keep building up and working on that. I'm going to take in the last row this beautiful shimmery blue kind of shade, and it has a heart stamped in it. How cute. I'm taking this on a shader brush, and I'm going to be applying this next to the black, and I wanted to make sure that I used all the shimmery like jewel tone shades, and this is definitely one of them, so I had to use this in a look. It's so pretty. They're too pretty not to use, and the shimmers in this palette are just as nice as those really nice creamy mattes in the palette. So once I have that, I'm using the shimmery white in the palette. This is the second row first shade, and I'm going to be using that wet. So I'm using the AOA Studio setting spray, and I'm going to be foiling this shade and applying it on the lid, at least in the inner corner part of the lid, and only to about maybe halfway in. And this is mainly for blending, and then the area that you see the white will be a little bit smaller when I'm done. I'm going to go in with more blue shimmery shade and blend at the same time, and we're just going to have us a nice smoky moment today, and I love how this came out. Actually, I've been saying that about the last few looks, but the last few looks I feel that I've outdone myself. That they were better than some of the first looks that I put out there. So tearing off the shadow shield, and look at all that fallout, the black fallout that did not get on the face. Now I'm going to reapply some concealer, even though it didn't take off any of the makeup. It's just I would do it anyways. And from AOA Studio, I'm using the pressed powder in Porcelain for my brow bone highlight. So I'm going to apply that under the brow with a eyeshadow brush, and I'm going to blend it down, and then I'm going to pick up my crease brush that I used the gray shade on and blend that too. On the lower lash line, I'm applying the gray shade. I don't want it to get too dark on my lower lash line, so I applied the gray shade, wiping away fallout, and then in the inner corner I'm putting the shimmery white shade in the inner corner as well. And you know, this right here with some black eyeliner would be really pretty, but because my dress has a lot of blue features, I wanted to do blue, so that is just like neon blue liner from LaColors and the Believe Beauty Caviar eyeliner. And I wanted liquid liner today, so NYX Matte Eyeliner, and I just do a thin strip of that. And I'm using the e.l.f. Big Mood Mascara today because I didn't really feel like doing lashes, but the look would have looked wonderful with them. So I do a couple coats of that, and the eyes are done. For lips, big surprise, LaColors Nude Glam lipstick in Oh Teddy. I love this lipstick. It's so pretty. And that's our finished look completed. I hope you guys enjoyed the tutorial, found it helpful. We'll try the look out for yourselves. Stay tuned for more looks using the Wet n Wild Wild Heart eyeshadow palette. Don't forget to check the description box as well as the cards for additional links, as well as a product list and a Wet n Wild playlist as well. Thank you guys so much for watching, and stay tuned for more looks using the Wet n Wild Wild Heart eyeshadow palette.